before. First of all, just to say from Barrett's perspective, you know, how we welcome the massive explosion of industrial action around the country with workers defending this country and the values. Absolutely inspirational. The teachers, the homeless workers, I've read about that struggle, all of the struggles that are taking place. We stand with you. We want you to step up your efforts. For God's sake, TUC, get off your knees and call a general strike. The reality is, it is the most vicious ideological war that I've ever seen in my 55 years, 55 next week, 55 years in this country, having been born here. The Tories are really ripping up the rule book when it comes to this class war, and we are the central point of attack of these bastards who are seeking to raise up people who are already rich by pushing further down those that are already poor. And this austerity crisis is magnifying, acting like a magnifying glass, in amplifying social and racial disadvantage. So we have government departments. We have government departments with 12% ethnic minorities, in which 50% are made up in redundancies. When we look at local authorities and the weak-ass Labour councillors who are supposed to be defending our services, voting to sack workers who are disproportionately reflected in the inner cities with huge numbers of black women. And the historical rationale, the historical analysis of the black community's unemployment is that black men have always been high on the unemployment rate. If black women now are to join us, our community will be plunged into the kind of economic abyss that will unleash the kind of social ills and difficulties that we've had. And now we find that black youth, they say, are what, 60% of black youth are unemployed. That was IPPR study in 2010. We know the government are lying on the figures. We know those figures are even higher. So right here in the middle of the United Kingdom, we have communities who are undergoing a Greek or Spanish-style economic crisis right in the centre of the most so-called civilized country in the world. It's a scandal that needs to be exposed, and I'm so glad to be here with you today to join you in confronting this government's racism, austerity. That they are somehow the fig leaf for Tory rampant class war. You're not, Nick Clegg. I've got a good insight into Nick Clegg's relationship with David Cameron. When I spoke with some of my black ethnic minority liberal, confused people they are in the liberal. As black people, we retain the human right to be as equally as idiotic as every other race on this earth. So you'll find us in all sorts of parties. But speaking to the ethnic minorities, Liberal Democrats, they said to me, we've got to really shore up Nick Clegg. I said, why? What's to happen? He said, Lee, when Nick Clegg comes out of a meeting with David Cameron, the man has to have a brandy and a cigarette. He's shell-shocked. He said he goes in there and Osborne and Cameron shell-shack him, beat him up, put him down, kick his ass out and give him the script which he has to follow. So all this nonsense about, yeah, we're the conscience of the nation holding back Tory excesses. You're not holding back Tory excesses, you're colluding with Tory excesses. Because every time that there's an austerity crisis such as this, there will be scapegoating. And this Tory party, with the architect of dog whistle politics, Linton Crosby, I've still got the scars on my back, as I've Ken from Linton Crosby's running Boris Johnson's campaign in 2008. And then I said that this wasn't an attack on me, Jasper. This was an attack on all black people. Some people thought that was an exaggeration or a hyperbole. And right now we've got this racist guru writing a Tory manifesto that is targeting every black person, immigrant, suspected irregular migrant in this country. What the Tories are doing in terms of immigration is designed to bring back the days of no dogs, no Irish, no black people. Well, if that's it, workers to snitch on people that they think are suspected illegal immigrants. They're saying to bank clerks and other public sector workers, shock your neighbour as a means of tackling this issue. Well, our position on this is clear, and I'm calling on you to support us on the Tuesday the 22nd, when the government is rushing through the immigration bill, trying to get it through in record speed, because they understand if we have the opportunity to explain to everybody and people what the detail of this bill was, the majority of people would oppose it, so they're seeking to rush it through. The first reading is on Tuesday morning at 10:30. The movement against xenophobia, a brand new movement created by JCWI and myself to give leadership on the issue of migration, is calling a mass lobby of Parliament on Tuesday, the 22nd at 10:30. Please join us, please be there. But as we see, as we see racism ripping across Europe and fascism rising its head, as we see the recreation of the slavery middle passage with Africans dying in their thousands seeking a better life off the coasts of Lampedusa and Italy, and as we see the EDL, what happened to the UEF beat their arse and Tommy Robinson, was it Quillam? Yeah, Quillam, Joy Quillam. That other state-sponsored MI5 unit that is so as we see the explosion of racism across the continent, we can't take any comfort here in thinking the English Channel protects us in relation to being infected with that continental European racism and fascism. We have to do what we know is defeating fascism, and that is unify our communities and bring them together into a solid working class opposition to these races. So we know their game is scapegoating. We know that they are seeking to push down and break people's terms and conditions. And quite frankly, I can't wait for the 5th of November. It's my birthday. It's People Assembly's day of a bonfire, and I was born on a good day when they tried to burn down Parliament. I can't wait to get into some acts of civil disobedience. Because Lord knows in my community far too many of us go to jail for the wrong reasons. Now it's time to go to jail for the right reasons.